AUT skins are something. I think. All I know is that the skin community, or the traders, are pretty big. AUT skins can be great. They add more content to the game and are a gateway to bring in more franchises and cool stuff without making a whole new stand or spec for it. But did you know there exists skins that were never added? Skins that have great potential yet the developers just never gave them a chance. For most of them at least they do release the skins, but when that day comes, it's usually late. Sometimes when they do add skins, for whatever reason, the skins mysteriously disappear into nothing after existing for a few days or months. And in today's video, I will be going over certain unreleased skins that I think deserve a chance of being released at some point now, and I also want to know what your thoughts are too. Also, it'll be a little lesson in history for some of you guys. So why don't we start off at the point when skins were implemented into the game? October to November 2021. Must be a real throwback for you old gens, huh? AUT announced they're making a Halloween update, which will introduce a lot of content like Yasuo and Yone, a better trading system, and last but not least, skins. They showed some skin sneak peeks, and through this, we found our first unreleased skin, the Sinister Blade skin, for Dawn. Now before you go in the comments and call me a bitch-ass liar, I know the skin is already in the game, but the modeling game is different than the one I'm showing you, so technically, there's an unreleased variant, therefore, it's an unreleased skin. Here it is. To be honest, I prefer the new skin because of the model and colors, but I think it'd be cool if they added the chains back since it would have made it a bit more unique, and not feel like a recolor with a pumpkin. Another skin that is already in the game is Yoru, a skin for Shank's ability. It was released in the 2024 Halloween update, and was a part of the many skins locked behind the premium shop. Now tell me, do you think this skin is completely new and was made entirely for this update? If you didn't, then, would you believe me if I said that this skin was meant to come out way earlier? In fact, this skin's model is almost 4 years old. I say this because Yoru was originally going to be added back in the 2021 Halloween update. Hell, the model is still the same. There's also an older model of it that never got used, and I can understand why. I'm still confused as to why they never released it back then. And why only now do they release it?
I guess we'll never know.
There was also going to be a Killua skin that maybe would have released alongside the Enel skin and the MK Raiden skin. It was a skin of the Electric Wizard. Out of the many potential skins that the developers might have added, this skin had the most potential. It would have been great if they added it during or after the 2021 Halloween update, but for whatever reason, they just never did. Even though the model was already made, and they didn't need to do much besides just adding it to the game. Imagine the amount of content that would have released because of it. It's tragic that we lost the chance of getting something that I think is an amazing skin idea. But hey, you win some, you lose some. Though, you likely lose more in these cases.
You can't keep getting away with this!
I'm gonna be all up in those feet. Oh, I'm gonna just be sucking on each one of those tootsies.
During the time when AUT had the older version of Gold Experience, the one with 0 moves, and an Awakening that also had 0 moves. The developers were working on reworks for both of them, and they had this plan for a unique skin feature that I felt would be interesting to talk about. So for Gold Experience skins, if you use the Awakening with the skin on, the Gold Experience Requiem model will change to be similar to the skin you are using for GE. Let's say you have a Blue Gold Experience, using the Awakening, it will turn into a Blue Gold Experience Requiem. So hey, we got two things out of this. An unreleased skin and an unreleased feature that, even if it provides not much, I still think it'd be nice to see it come back, for whatever skin in the future. There's a lot of potential for this feature. I mean, this would have been a cool way to add crack GE from ABD that could evolve into the universal
GER,
a limited skin which is already in AUT, but I guess that'll never happen since GER is now a totally separate ability from GE. But nevertheless, would be cool to see this come back for a new skin. Oh? You thought the video was done? Oh no! It's not done. In fact, it's only done when I say it's done. Now, we'll be moving on to more recent entries, and we have only about 3 to 4 skins to touch on. And I think these are the most interesting ones in all honesty. So let's get to it. The combat rework. It introduced a ton of new content that would change the whole game, for better, or for worse. It also came with a bunch of new skins. Some of them, for whatever ungodly reason, would only be added to the game months after they were shown. But at least they got a better fate, since some of them just never got the chance, even though they would have been great additions. It's time I talk about one of the main skins in the thumbnail. But first, I must go make a funny joke to transition to it, just like how I did for majority of this video. Hey, El Rey, do you know Candid?
You very upload.
AUT was gonna add a Venom skin, because it's cool, and also likely in reference to the fact that Weather Report has an anti-Venom skin, and also because it's cool. Frankly, a Venom skin for White Snake might have been perfect. It would have been cool to see Melt Your Heart but Black Synths, Symbiote and all. Even then, this skin has unique sound design too. Something that I'm quite sure I haven't seen on any White Snake skin. Sadly, the unique sound design is only for the Summon SFX, yet despite all the great things about this skin, it just didn't get added. Now I could theorize as to why they didn't add this, maybe because of copyright and to avoid getting demolished by Sony, Marvel and Disney. Maybe because of this copyright issue some of these other skins didn't get released too. But that doesn't make sense since Weather Report has both a Moon Knight and an anti-Venom skin. As mentioned beforehand, both are Marvel properties, with Moon Knight having a Disney Plus show. Yet these skins are still around and haven't been touched by Marvel, or even Mickey Mouse's greedy little rat hands. Plus there is a lot of other copyrighted content in the game as is, so what's the point in being scared of adding a Venom skin? But again, just like the Electred skin,
I guess we'll never know.
Hey guys.
there was also going to be a mythic Yone skin, Dawnbringer Yone, which actually seemed pretty finalized. It had a full model, unique effects and was probably one of the more popular skins in the early stages of the combat rework. Though, I'm only saying that because I saw 2 big AUT tubers make a video on it. So this was a skin that had a ton of effort in it, and it would have been great for Yone, but again, with zero reason, it just didn't get added. Well, actually, it just didn't get released to the public. Now I might sound a little stupid, considering everything up till now was about skins that may never see the light of day. But believe me when I say that, this skin probably still exists in the game's files, it's just players can't get the skin. Months after the combat rework was implemented, Amon got a rework update. The update came with the addition of Joseph Amon and also Vampire, and during this time, the AUT developers were working on a mythic skin for Amon. A skin that would eventually turn into an ability later down the line. That skin goes by the name, Luffy. So, Luffy was originally going to be a skin for Amon, rather than an ability. And it seems Buso Haki would have replaced pretty much all the moves on Pluck. There's a second rig with Pluck being used as reference for Luffy's animation. It's pretty cool to see something like this later turn into an ability. Though it's probably because it gets the money since One Piece is pretty big, but whatever. These animations are pretty smooth though, I'm not gonna lie. There was also this strange skin that existed for a time, but just randomly disappeared. It is rarely talked about, and whenever it is mentioned, most of the time it's just people asking where the skin went. Only to get zero answers. But what is this skin? Well, this skin was released back in the Easter update that came with the Sol rework. So, basically before the Amon rework. There was this specific boss who could drop any Easter skin if you defeated him. These were, Candy SDWR, Candy Platinum, the Absolute Peak Sol Morai, and finally, the skin that mysteriously disappeared, Bunny Gojo. This was also used for the boss's model by the way, but anyway, this thing is likely the first ever Gojo skin in the game, and for whatever reason, this skin just doesn't exist anymore. Now, you could say that Bunny Gojo might be insanely rare to come by in game, and especially more so since it's an event skin. But like, if that's the case, why would the developers remove any evidence of Bunny Gojo's existence from everywhere, like the official Trello? As far as I know, it was just deleted. I have no answers for why it was erased. For something that is the first ever skin for Gojo, I at least expected it to stick around for a long time. I mean, hell, the other Easter skins got the chance to exist to this day, yet this one skin never got that sort of chance. I mean, what could have caused its deletion? If you know anything about why it was deleted, a comment would be greatly appreciated, but until then,
I guess we'll never know.
welcome to the conclusion. This video was meant to be shorter, and more of a minor project. But, like everything else on my channel, it just became too big than it should have been. Though, I would be lying if I said I didn't enjoy making this video. There's honestly a lot of interesting topics about skins, that aren't only about the unreleased ones. Topics that I would love to make a video on in the future. And speaking of unreleased skins, I had some more to talk about, but this video is already big enough and I don't think they matter too much to warrant an entire section. These skins being Shadow Kana, and this inventory with a bunch of skins not in game, but those are probably moderator skins and won't be released anyway. It's sad that we won't see some of these skins come back though, but I hope to God the developers at least recycle them, like how they did with Yoru. Which I know they're capable of. After all, they're the masters of reuse, reduce, recycle and repeat. Anyways, I got nothing else to say besides, the video's done.